Hello everyone and welcome back to Vlad the Impaler, where we will continue our mission to find the darkness that has beset the town. This is our Explorer trade playthrough where we achieved the rank of Emissary. Dodge, Throw Dagger, and Judo Throw. Don't know what those do, but I'm assuming they're special abilities, so if we have to use them, well, let's make use of them. Definitely need to work on Dex and Agi though. Let's check out the palace. Okay, so because we're an emissary, we're gonna go to the visitors, chancellery, council thing. Visitors council, there it is. You've been invited to the palace through something called the Visitors Council. As any invitation to the palace is an opportunity to learn more, you accept. What you find that night is a large forum filled with people from all over Europe and the Middle East, all discussing the state of the city and what has to be done about it. There does not, however, seem to be any format or structure to the gathering, which strikes you as strange. How is this council supposed to get anything accomplished? It's at that moment that you notice a European woman standing in the far doorway. There is something striking about her. She's looking right at you. She then motions with a finger for you to follow, and disappears around the corner. You are considering following when you hear someone call to you. You turn and see a crowd of men sitting around on couches amidst the gathering. One of them says, "You're the one who has been investigating the murders, aren't you? Come, tell us what you found." Okay, we're gonna follow the men because of the fact that we are not to be tempted by women. Never. Very well, you say, sitting down to join them. As near as I can tell, there appears to be a conspiracy at work within the city. I have implicated a group of knights and religious officials in some of these crimes, but yet to find any solid proof. Once more, there are elements of the supernatural that appear to be drawn to the death and chaos that are ensuing. The men raise their eyebrows and shake their heads with worry. The one who originally called you over says, "My friend, whatever we can do to help, merely ask." "Thank you," you reply. "I will call on you if I need." They all raise their glasses to you and wish you their best. You leave with no new answers, but at least you made new friends. +2 charm. What does the catacombs have to offer? Let's try to find some. Blindly continue. I don't know if I like any of these. I don't want to risk any of those right now. We're gonna enter through the east gate over here. Like the vampire bro said. You enter the basilica through the gate, east gate. The hymns of praying citizens echo hauntingly through the stone antechamber. You're about to step into the main part of the church when you suddenly stop. Something isn't right within the antechamber. After a few moments looking, you notice a symbol concealed in the masonry of the ceiling. You've seen it before, the five-pointed crown, the symbol of the demon king Asmodeus. It is a warning to the educated that danger awaits those who continue forward. Press on! Knowing that the fourth point in the crown of Asmodeus will always point toward the mechanism that opens the secret door, nice, you walk right over to the statue of Saint Christopher, reach behind him and find the switch. A part of the wall swivels out to reveal a hidden staircase spiraling down. You descend in the darkness and the smell of decay. Upon reaching the bottom, you light a lonely torch hanging from a wall beside the stairs. You recoil in horror to find the room filled with corpses hanging upside down, chained to the ceiling. Each of them has had their skin flayed from their bodies. The walls have been covered in writing, all done in careful penmanship, using the blood of those that have been skinned alive. You scan the grisly text only to discover that the Commandant of Solomon from the Exorcist Doctrine. The corpses must have been witches or people suspected of witchcraft. Either way, it would not only be caught by whichever dark members of the clergy use this horrific place. You leave at once, but not before discovering a secret panel that hides the books used for transcribing the witches' confessions. +1 intelligence, which improves our dagger throw, I guess. We're going to meander. We're just gonna meander. So as we're meandering, your satchel is suddenly ripped from your shoulder. Spinning around, you see a weary boy with your property diving into the crowd of the bazaar. You immediately give chase, shoving your way through the crowd after him. Let's follow him. Realizing that heavily armed people like yourself are generally not the target of pickpockets, you assume that the boy has stolen your satchel for more than clandestine purpose. Instead of chasing him directly, you exit the covered part of the bazaar and take to the rooftops, following his path with the crowd from the distance. Assassin's Creed. I guess we're an assassin now. Okay. Eventually, the boy stops running and checks behind him. Not seeing any pursuit, he moves at a more leisurely pace to a shaded area between the tents. There, he hands the satchel to 2 men and a woman. They are wearing hoods and clearly armored underneath. They hand the kid a few coins and he leaves. You move around to a better vantage point. As the center man empties your satchel on the ground, the other 2 hoods begin sifting through your belongings. Their attention is drawn to the sketches you've made of various disturbing things you've witnessed since coming to the city. Then, the woman raises her hand. She spots you almost immediately. The other 2 men look up, following her gaze. You nod to them curtly. They seem annoyed that you've discovered their little scheme. They throw your satchel to the ground, stomp on your drawings, and turn to walk off. You smile at their bravado. Clearly, you're starting to make them nervous. Yay, agility! I needed that. Okay, so here are our current stats now. We're pretty charming. Okay, so here's where we died last time. Your weapon clangs sharply against the sword of the bearded knight. A shingle gives way under your foot and you barely manage to adjust your weight before you slide off the roof to certain death. The knight presses his attack and you're forced backwards on the dome of the Hagia Sophia. Okay. Our magic isn't great. Neither is our strength. Or con, really. So we have... Okay, we're good at dodge, so let's try to leap away. The knight in front of you may have better weaponry and armor, but there is one thing he lacks: speed. Deftly dodging one final attack, you spin around and run, leaping from the roof of the mosque onto the building below. Or so you would, but as you jump, your foot slips. Your agility has failed you. The world spins as you drop, and all you can hear is the knight laughing at your failure while the ground rushes up to meet you. You overestimate... God damn it. God! Oh! What time are we at? Okay, you know what? We're gonna continue on, and we're just gonna begin the Mage playthrough of this, because God, that is starting to annoy me. Our dexterity never increased in that entire thing, by the way. Not once. Alright. Here we go.
My friend, I have need of your skills once again. Darkness has fallen upon the city of Istanbul. Blood paints the streets, and the cries of the dying rise from the night. The Sultan himself will not set foot within its walls until the dread curse is lifted. Holy men, knights, and inquisitors have all been sent, yet none have returned. You are the only one whom I trust to investigate this. Your cunning, your prowess, and your penchant for results are needed here more than ever. Find the source of this wickedness, and deal with it as only you can. Godspeed, my friend, and watch your back.
Try this again. So, if this playthrough fails, I will sit down, and I'm going to figure out how to beat the game using... what class, I should say, is best to beat the game, and I'm going to work out how to go about winning the game, because I want to show you guys the ending. The ending is pretty cool of this game. It's just that one rooftop fight is extremely difficult, because you need something ridiculously high, and intelligence and con are like the 2 stats that do not help at all in that fight. You need magic, strength, agility, or dex. Dexterity to disarm him, agility to dodge away, strength to shove him off, and magic to invoke the wind. Okay. We're playing a mage. So we're gonna stack as much magic and intelligence as I possibly can. I would love to read you guys more about this. We're just gonna go right through that and get that charm that I didn't want, but whatever. We're gonna wander at nightfall. Okay. I would love to read this all again, but those of you who've been watching for the longest time probably already know this. So we're just gonna go through these first few days because these days mean absolutely nothing. This is lazy of me, yes. But, you know, we might as well try to get as much done now, because the Mage is not too different early on compared to the others. This still happens as always. But now this is where it starts to change, where your class actually plays into effect. Okay. We are going to... We're gonna buy a fawful. Talk to the man who's begging. And he's running from the guards, and we're gonna give him our cloak. So we get intelligence and charm. We're gonna be focusing on these three stats right here. We're gonna be focusing on these three. We're gonna win this game. That is the goal now. We're going to win. Because all we do is win. Oh. While walking through the seedier parts of the port of Istanbul at night, you stumble across a horrific sight. A young woman has been mutilated in the middle of a dark alley. Her internal organs removed and positioned in a circle around her. Her clothes suggest that she was a working girl, one of the many whores that frequent the nights at darks at night. This is the 12th whore who has been killed in recent weeks, all of them butchered in a ritualistic way, but this is the first body you have actually seen with your own eyes. The look of terror is still etched on her soft face. All the murders and disappearances happen in the city. These seem to be the most consistent and the most deliberate. It is a lead that you can firmly grasp onto. I don't want to confront the killer. I don't think we're strong enough for that, so we're gonna try to prevent him from doing it again. One of the booksellers in the port specializes in obscure occult text. When you show him a drawing of the murdered girl, he fetches a very old book, translated from Greek, and it is called The 13 Names of God. In it, there are listed 13 macabre rituals for sacrificing sinners in order to begin the countdown of revelations. The 12th ritual describes an examination of these sinners' internal organs, arranged in a circle around the body to invoke the second and last name of the Almighty. The overweight bookseller then shivers when he tells you that the butcher 3 doors down has recently been coming into the bookshop, and this is one of the books he's been reading. The butcher fits with the way the killings seem to have been happening, and you pay the man a visit just as he's locking up the store for the night. Dragging him into the alley, you confront him. The weary Turkish man denies being the killer. He says that he has been reading the occult books in order to try and learn what evil has taken over his city. You question him about the whores, and he lets it slip that he knows the 4th one had her throat removed, only to be stuffed with her fingers. You drag the man to the city guard and turn him in, telling them your evidence. They immediately lock the butcher up, and you are not convinced that he is the man who did it, but if no more killings happen while he is in jail, then you have been proven right. +2 magic. Nice. That's good. Muy buena. We're gonna visit Basilica. You are visiting Basilica before sundown when you notice a group of altar boys gathered around a corner. They seem to be up to something, but you can't tell what. When the priest finally calls for them, they run off, giggling and shoving each other. You approach the small table where they had been gathered around an open box. Peering inside, you find a mouse. The mouse is desperately trying to get out, but the boys have covered the poor thing in lamp oil, so it's slipping helplessly off the sides. Right, we're gonna see if they come back. We freed the mouse the other time. We're gonna confront them this time. You lean against one of the massive stone columns of the basilica, listening to the altar boys receiving their nightly instructions. As you wait for them to return, you ponder the information you've collected so far. What is it that the victims of the city have in common that make them targets of these murders and abductions? Certainly there's a sinister agenda at play, but there also seems to be an element of primal, a tyrannical force that is active for no other reason than hunger. And at that moment you catch from the corner of your eye, across the aisle, lowering itself through the mid-air, is the largest spider you've ever seen. Its body is bigger than both your fists put together. Its long needle-like legs spread out as it slides down the silken thread right into the box. You hear a single squeak from the mouse. A moment later, the spider is climbing back up its cord with a strength and speed that sends chills through your spine. The mouse is limp in its fangs. So our column went down, but our intelligence and magic went up. I'm assuming the column went down because of what we witnessed there. Let's ask him about the cross. And he doesn't do his demonic ritual shit. Great. Exactly what I wanted. We now enter the palace, and we will assist in excavations. We are a scholarly man. We'll help. You arrive at the palace on a coach, having been summoned by the Sultan's Master of Antiquities. You are ushered inside the gates and escorted to one of the far corners by the palace guards. There seem to be some sort of excavation going on here, yet there appear to be large numbers of Janissary guards present for a mere hole in the ground. An educated man in white turban approaches you and shakes your hand. "Thank you for coming," he says. "I am the Master of Antiquities, to His Excellency. It is unorthodox, I know, but I was told to use any resources necessary, and I've heard you've had experience in these matters." "What matters, you ask? Let me show you," he replies. The man then leads you down a series of ladders into the ground. At the very bottom you find yourself in what appears to be a stone tunnel of some ancient architecture. "This has apparently been down here the entire time," the Master of Antiquities says, leading you by torchlight down the tunnel. "We were digging in order to build an underground storeroom for preservation of perishables when we broke through into this tunnel." You look at the reliefs of winged monsters carved into the walls. "These are Persian, you say?" "Yes, I know," he replies, "but these are not." He stops and raises his torch. The tunnel ends in two black iron doors. Molded into the surface are strange hieroglyphs. "Do you recognize them?" he asks. A chill runs through your body as you realize where you are standing. "You need to get your men out of here," you say. "Why? What does this mean?" he asks. You turn to him and look him dead in the eyes. "These are the gates of Gog and Magog." How original of names, Gog and Magog. Huh. "They are demons of the ancient world, locked away until the end of days, when they will come forth and do battle with the kingdom of heaven. You cannot open these doors." The Master of Antiquity nods. "It is as I feared, then." "Nonsense," says one of the lesser advisors standing behind you. "The Sultan is ordained to rule by the wisdom of Allah. God would not allow His Excellence to build a palace on top of an unholy place." The visor brushes past you toward the doors. "No! Don't!" You grab the visor by the arm and spin around. Did it not occur to you that the intent of Allah was for the Sultan to build his palace here in order to safeguard the world from opening these doors? The visor stares down to you. "I know who you are," he said, "and you are not welcome here." The Master of Antiquities then grabs the visor's arm and says, "His Excellency named me to handle this discovery, and my authority is his matter and his own. We leave, we bury this place forever." The visor sneers at the both of you, then turns to storm off. The Master of Antiquity turns to you and says, "Thank you for coming and verifying what I dreaded. You have done His Excellency a great service. As payment, I give you a standing invitation to the Royal Archives whenever you wish. It may aid you in the research of this hideous darkness that plagues our city." You shake his hand, thanking him. As you follow him back up to the tunnel, you think what might be a boon that sort of access will be to your investigations. And yet, as you look over your shoulder at the long, dark corridor, you can't help but wonder how everything would have turned out differently had the wrong man found the gate first. +1 intelligence. See, that intelligence is getting up there, but we need more magic. We need more magic. Let's walk through the main room. Lady putting out candles. We're gonna ask her why. And you get charm, not what I wanted. Oh well. I don't want to go to the catacombs. Like, we ourselves are not good for the catacombs. The catacombs are guaranteed to screw us over. Horribly screw us over. We're gonna get some baklava. You were wandering through the Istanbul bazaar, eating a piece of honey baklava, when you notice a little girl watching you from a few tents away. She looks as though she's coveting the sticky dessert that is getting all over your fingers, and you give her a slight smile of condolence. Then a hand suddenly emerges from a secret fold in the tent behind the girl, and pull her inside without a sound. All the abductions that you've been following in the city, you've never thought you'd actually witness one happening. You walk over to the front of the tent, finishing off the last of your dessert. "Welcome, my friend," says a smiling merchant in a turban. "Are you in need of lamp or oil?" Tell him to let him go. The merchant's eyes darken and says, "We are paid for the month already. We will not submit to your orders bullying." This grabs your interest. Clearly someone higher in the order is running a protection money scheme where people who break the law can continue without being handed over as long as they pay regularly. And this man thinks you're with the order. You look the merchant dead in the eyes and said, "You think this is bullying? You want to play triple next time? Give me the girl." The merchant nods and acquaintance and motions you to enter the tent. You do so, drawing your weapon. The girl the man took is nowhere to be found. They've clearly escaped while the merchant kept you busy. The next thing you hear is a merchant calling to the guard, saying that there is a thief in his tent. You've been outconned this time and you need to escape before the guards find you and decide to cut off your hands. With minimal searching, you find a secret fold in the back where the kidnapper must have escaped and you slip through. Your heart breaks for the girl as you disappear into the crowd, vowing that the justice of this merchant... As you return to the inn, a woman bumps into you and recognizes her as one of the townspeople you helped earlier. Flustered, she rapidly thanks you for all your assistance, Samus. We call you the holy priest of Istanbul. We're a priest now. Okay. Chapter 4. Okay, we're gonna show him the silver cross. He lets us in. And we're not dead. Hallelujah. But that will be it for now. Thank you all for watching. I am sorry the Explorer episode ended so harshly and that I had to skip through a bunch of beginning shit again to get us back to a decent time. Hopefully this will go better. And yeah, hopefully this will go better next episode and we will not die immediately upon meeting that knight again. Thank you all for watching. See y'all tomorrow, and bye-bye.